So today I'm here to tell you about the time that I almost died. And this is where it gets kind of weird because I kind of feel like I did die in a way, and you can make your own judgment on whether or not I did die after you hear all of the details. I do get into extreme detail here because I want to bring you along the journey of how I got into this situation so that I can help you avoid getting into something so terrible, something that will affect you for the rest of your life. And so I'm going to get very detailed into how I became trapped with this murderer and how I escaped. And I'm making this video, I keep refilming it because I don't want to be that girl that's super emotional, like, oh, this happened to me, blah, 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 and this is how it made me feel and blah, blah, blah. But I think that's very important to express that, because if you don't and someone else goes through something like that, they might feel really bad about themselves. They might feel sad and depressed and scared their entire lives. So you know what? I'm going to share those emotions with you. I'm going to express how it affected me later and how I'm going to overcome the things this man did to me, and how I'm going to move on and blossom into the woman that I want to be, the woman that's not afraid to go out in public, the woman that's not afraid of people, that doesn't let her past bring her down. And I'm getting emotional when I say that because it's been happening. And I don't want to be that person that lets the past affect my future. What you can do is you can take everything that happened in your past, you can take those situations and turn them into challenges that you've overcome. You've climbed this mountain of defeat and sadness and anger and depression and blaming yourself for things that have happened. And you can get to the top and be like, yes, this happened. Yes, I wish it didn't. Yes, it made me feel all these things. But you know what? I'm not gonna let that put me down for the rest of my life, which is what I was doing. And you know what? Not today, not tomorrow, not in my future. It's not gonna happen again. I am moving on past these things, and I hope this inspires you to do the same. And that brings me to my last point before we get into the story. If something does happen to you, do not be afraid to speak out, because I was afraid. And I started holding on to this guilt for not speaking out. And because I didn't speak out against this person that hurt me, this person actually ended up hurting somebody else. And that really sucks. That's something I feel really bad for, and I blame myself every day for. I want you to speak out so that it doesn't happen to somebody else. Now you're about to see me tell this story a couple times because a girl gets nervous recalling all of these things that have happened. So I met this boy in high school and I thought it was okay to hang out with him. And he was really funny. He was kind of like the jokester that runs through the halls and taps people on the shoulder and makes them look the wrong way. And you know, he just goes around and messes with everybody. Naturally, I'm like, ooh, he seemed kind of like a bad boy. And I was kind of rebellious. And I don't mean bad boy in the sense that like he was a bad guy. I meant like he was like the jokester. You know what I'm saying? Like he makes all the girls laugh, and he's very flirtatious and things like that. He just knows what to say. He's also, at this time, he was also friends with all of my friends. So I would see him out at parties and I would see him. So I trusted that he was a good guy. So all my friends liked him, all of his friends liked him, you know, everybody generally had liked him, at least the people that I knew. So I didn't get any red flags from this at all, which just goes to show, be careful who you're hanging out with. Don't hang out with people alone, because you never really know people's true intention. So I go to his house, and if you're with somebody, you can use the buddy system. You know, there can be people there that can help you if you get attacked by somebody. It also goes to show that even if you're friends with somebody, they can still snap. It doesn't have to be some creepy stranger trying to lure you into their deep, dark basement. It could just be that friend that seems to get... It's so hard for me to admit that people liked him. But the friend that seems to get along... It's fine. To get along with everybody around you... Literally feel like I'm gonna have a panic attack when they say that. because it's scary. It's scary that even the people that you think you know can still snap and become the worst people you know. Which is why it's important to have friends over with you, whether or not they're in the other room. If they hear some crazy stuff going down, they can run in there and help you. Just leave the door open, they can peek in there and see if you're okay. That's all I'm saying. Moving on. So, we're sitting there, we're hanging out. Now, his house is a 1-story house. So you have the 1-story, and I wish there was an easier way to show you this. Perfect. So you have the 1-story house. Here's the door into the home, okay? Over here is his mom's bedroom, brother's bedroom, kitchen, living room, and then you go through the living room. Gotta see this. Through the living room into the kitchen, and then there's a set of stairs somewhere in there. I don't really remember. It's kind of a blur of me running. So you go down the stairs, and his bedroom was in the basement. So that's the layout of the first floor. Let's go over the layout of the terrible second floor. His bedroom, my nightmare. So pretend the staircase comes down this way. So the staircase comes on down, and this guy's looking at me. So the staircase comes on down, and this is actually, I just realized this is gonna be backwards in the video. I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna flip it so that you guys realize like exactly how the layout was. So in my editing software, I'm gonna flip it. So it's gonna look a little weird. I'll be over there instead of over here, whatever. So you go down the stairs. His bed's right here. Over here is the wall that I was attacked at. Oh my god, what am I gonna cry? I was trying to re-record this so I don't freaking cry. Okay. It's fine. We are gonna be strong. So, and then over here actually is these, there's the washer and dryer. But between that, they were building a wall between the washer and dryer to really like block off his room. But they were still in the process of doing that. So you have, and this is very important because this is a big part of the story. There's these poles here that have plastic attached to them, okay? Because it's unfinished. They haven't put drywall up yet. They just have plastic stapled to these poles. Other than that, there's no windows in the basement that I can recall. Maybe there might be like some windows on this side that I didn't see that are very small. Who knows? Not important. Moving on. So I get there, he welcomes me inside. Me and him are hanging out. We go down into his room, which is the basement, because when you're in high school, you just hang out at people's houses. You just hang out in their room. You just chill. You watch movies in their room. You just chill. I'm sitting there, we're talking, and I get a text. Now, when you're in high school, you text everybody. Everybody texts everybody. I would get like hundreds of texts all the time, and it would be from him and her, and you know, they all talk to each other. Everybody talks to each other. It's like, what are you doing this weekend? What are you doing today? The homework assignment, this and that. Kitty! Getting ready to pounce. Chilling, coming in. Hear this story, huh? I'm telling you, cats are my spirit animal, I swear. That was really weird. Okay, back to the story. We've never hung out just us. We never made it seem like we were together, anything like that. So I found it very strange that he got very jealous. It was a very innocent text, just like, probably just like, hey, or whatever. He got so mad. It was like a switch went off on him, and he got so jealous, and he's like livid. Goes from being nice, funny guy to really scary, angry guy. Like I said, we weren't even in a relationship. So then he goes, and instead of talking to me about it, and at this point I'm just confused. I'm like, what are you know, I'm just really confused by it all. And he goes, and this is the part that I freaking gives me so much anxiety, because he goes, this is when it all started. He pushes me up against this wall, and so I'm trying to push him off of me, and he is very heavy. Now, he is not a super bulky guy. He's not a big guy by any means. He's actually very small, but he does have muscle, and he overpowered me. 100% overpowered me. And so I'm trying to push myself off of him, and then he goes and he slaps me, and he takes his hands takes his hands and he puts them around my throat. And you guys, it's so freaking hard to talk about. But I need to talk about it because I need to warn other girls that this can happen to them. So he puts his hands around my throat and he's choking me. Now, I actually tell the story better in the last time I tried to film this. And so I'm going to use that footage now because honestly, I don't want to put myself through this again. Although I do want to get over it and I want to move forward. So yeah, here we go. And oh my god, the look in his eyes, there's something evil inside him. I am convinced. I don't know if he has anger management issues or he can just snap like that and then just like zone out. And it was the scariest thing. I started slapping him in the face and it didn't even affect him. It didn't even affect him. At one point, he started getting red. And I don't know if maybe like you start seeing red when you start losing oxygen, but he started turning red. And I don't know if I was just slapping him that hard or whatever, but he refused to let go. So finally, I was like, I'm gonna stop slapping him. Maybe he'll just snap out of it on his own. Maybe he'll be like, maybe me slapping him is making him more angry. You know, maybe I'll just let him do whatever he wants and he'll let me go. That was not the case. Instead of him letting me go, he continues on. All of this happens within a matter of minutes, okay? Within a matter of minutes, your life could be gone. Just wiped from existence. So I stop and I'm looking into his eyes. I will never forget his face. I will never forget his eyes. And oh my God. And I go to lift my arm to hit him again because nothing's snapping him out of it. He's not stopping. He's not. Me stopping didn't make him stop more. I just needed to keep fighting because honestly, I felt like my head was about to burst. I felt like I could feel myself losing consciousness. I could feel myself dying. Like I kept thinking, this is how I'm gonna die. And there was a thought that flashed across my mind, which is really odd, is the fact that nobody's going to find my body. Because you don't understand, the place I'm from, there's a lot of gangs, there's a lot of ways to get rid of bodies, and there's a lot of crime and a lot of unsolved murders. And I kept thinking, this is where I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die in this basement. My mom will never find my body again. She won't even know what happened. She won't even know where I went. She won't know anything, you know? And I kept thinking like she's gonna be really upset. Or what if she finds out that my body is down here in this basement? She's gonna be really upset. And I also thought I had so much potential in life. So much stuff I wanted to do in life. And all that potential washed away. These are really quick flashes, just like that. Your thoughts race by you. So I go and I'm like, no, I have to fight. I have to fight. I don't want to go down like this. Like I don't want to die in a basement. That's not where I'm supposed to die. I'm supposed to die when I'm old and in my bed, just sound asleep, easy going. That's how I want to die. I don't want to die here. And at that moment, my legs start going numb. And this is how I knew I was gonna die there, because I have heard, and I wasn't sure if this was exactly true because I hear it like on TV and things like that. So I heard that when people begin to die, their legs go numb. That's the first sign of somebody dying. So that really freaked me out. And I could feel it. I was no longer standing up on my own. He was holding me up against the wall. So I take my hand and I go to slap him in the face. And I hit him once, but my hand is no longer as strong as it used to be. And I hit him again, and then I lose all control of my hand and my arms fall down to my sides. And I mean like stiff, just like this. Like no feeling in my arms whatsoever. And now I can no longer hit him. And he just looks so angry, like I did something so terrible to him. And I didn't do anything at all. All I did was want to hang out with you. That was it. We were just supposed to hang out and talk, and then I was gonna go back home, see you later, see you the next day at school, maybe in class, maybe we'd go and hang out with friends at like wherever, at like a party or something on the weekend or something. But no, he acted like I just was the worst person in the entire world he's ever seen. And then everything goes black. This is where things start to get weird. So then I don't see anything. This is where I black out, but I could hear. It was so bizarre. I could hear my body sliding down the wall. Now, I have heard this sound before, and my mom used to have seizures when I was younger, and I would always listen out because I was so paranoid she was going to have a seizure and die. So I would listen out for my mom, and the way I would know that she had a seizure was by a noise. And it's not just by, you know how you have a seizure and you scream, of course you know then, but I always want to know before then. So it would be the sound of like her body going like this. Okay, that didn't make any noise. But it would be the sound of her body sliding across the wall. And I could hear it, you know, and I'd be like, oh God, I hear it. She just slid down, she's having a seizure. Or I would hear like the thud of her body hitting the ground. And that's how I knew she was having a seizure. So I would have to listen for these little minuscule noises. And that's how I knew that that sound was exactly what was happening. My body falls through that plastic and right down to the ground. It creates this massive hole in the plastic, and I remember the hole in the plastic because of the fact that I seen it. It was almost like it's the weirdest thing ever, because it's like I'm outside of my body, and this is gonna be the most weirdest like thing I can ever explain. I don't understand it either. Inside of my body, I'm like up here, and I watch my body slide down and right into the plastic. That's what I remember, and then I blacked out. God, you guys, talking about this freaks me out because it doesn't end there. Escaping that man after everything that happened is... Anyway, I'm on the ground, and then I remember waking up to him on top of me, and I remember I could see now. I could see, but I couldn't move my body and I couldn't move my eyeballs. And he was on top of me, and I seen him get up from being on top of me, and he walks and he's pacing. He's talking on the phone now, he's pacing, but I still can't feel my body, and I can't move my eyeballs, but I can see him from down here. You know what I'm saying? Like out of the corner of my eye. I can see him, and he's talking to somebody on the phone. Whoever he was talking to, I don't know. I could see him, but then I black out again. It's like the weirdest thing. Like, I don't know how to explain it. He's on top of me again, but this time it was like a quick, like that. I see him, I'm lurch forward. It's like I'm not even in control of my body at this point. My body lurches forward, and I spit up on him, and I remember him going, oh, like just like mad because I spit up on him. He was performing CPR on me. The man that just tried to murder me is now performing CPR on me. It makes no sense. Maybe it's because now he realized that after what he did, how does he dispose of the body? He's gonna go away for a very long time unless he finds somebody to help him. Maybe that's what happened. I don't know. I'm not in the crazy man's head. So I remember lurching forward, and this was so painful. This was the most painful thing in my life. Was coming back to life is what I'm going to call it, because my body hurt. I was shaking. I was jerking back and forth trying to catch my breath, but my lungs weren't working. It literally, I was coughing up everywhere, hacking and just like jerking, and it felt like my insides were coming back to life, and it was so painful. So painful. It was so painful. It was like, I don't even know how to explain it other than it felt like my body was dying but coming back to life. I don't know how else to explain it. It was so bizarre, and I was so terrified, and I could see him out of the corner of my eye after I finally caught my first breath, and I was choking for minutes trying to catch my breath. I see him over there talking to somebody on the phone, and finally he lets the person go, and he sets the phone down, and here I am thinking, so at this point I'm still thinking I'm gonna die. So I see him, and I'm still terrified. He's off the phone now, and he walks over, and he's looking at me, and I remember him looking in my eyes, and then I catch my breath, and then I get up. In my mind, I'm like, I'm still in this basement. I remember glancing over at the stairwell, because this is where I'm facing, right? Here I am standing here, the bed's in front of me, he's to the right of me, looking like the psychopath he is, and over here are the stairs. And I remember looking that way and then realizing that the stairs are really, really tall. There's a lot of them. The chances of me outrunning this man that's actually really in shape all the way up those stairs, a man that gets angered very easily and snaps very easily, I don't think that's gonna happen. So in my mind, I pictured it and I'm like, nope. If I try to run up those stairs, he's gonna drag me back down and I'm gonna die. So I go and I look at him and he looks at me. He's just looking at me. Like, I don't know, it was weird. It was like he was in shock or something. It was so bizarre. And I could tell he was watching me, but he was also like, I don't know if it, like, he got freaked out. Maybe I was the first person he ever actually almost murdered. It looked like he freaked himself out. Okay, I have my light now. You can actually see me. Hey. And so he starts approaching me. That was scary, but I had to keep calm. I remember telling myself, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm, because I'm still in an area that I can't escape without him getting mad. He was already freaking out thinking I was going to tell somebody. So yeah, if he thought for any instant that I was going to put him away behind bars, I guarantee he probably would have hurt me again. So I go and I start talking to him, and he basically tells me that him and his ex-girlfriend broke up because she cheated on him. Hence, him getting mad about a message, a text message from a friend. It really makes me mad, okay? It really makes me mad that in his mind, he can justify doing that. So I have to hold this man, this crazy man, in my arms as he cries to me about his ex-girlfriend and how she hurt him so bad by breaking his heart by cheating on him. And so finally, after God knows how long, and I still can't get to my cell phone, and so finally he's done crying, I go and I'm like, don't worry, you'll find someone that will never hurt you like that. Like, you don't have to worry about me hurting you like that and this and that, because I want to get the freak out of there. So I'm saying whatever I need to say at this point. So then he's caught off guard and his house phone rings. Now he has his house phone downstairs. Remember, he was talking on the phone, asking for advice about the dead girl in his basement. So his phone rings again, and I'm just assuming that it's the same person, but he was caught off guard. So I go, and that's my moment. That is the moment I can do something and try to escape. So I go, I basically run to my crap that's in the corner of the room. I grab it, I grab my phone, don't have my shoes. I push the call button to call my friend as I try to make my way to the stairs, and, ooh, shaking now, sorry. It's a really scary story to tell. As soon as I press the button to call her and I make it just to the first step of the stairs, I turn around to look, and there he is, right next to me. And he's like, who are you talking to? And I quickly blurt out, because I am scared at this moment. And even though I was in survival mode, that all went out the window. I tell her, I'm like, I need your help. I was just strangled. I'm in his basement. And I tell her what happened. I need help. And she goes, where are you? And I told her exactly where I was. And while he's standing there, which was probably really freaking stupid, but at this point, I thought he knew I was going to escape and I was going to die anyway. And this was my only chance. So I'm telling her what happened, and really fast as I could go. And she goes, do you want to come here? And he goes to lean forward, and I tell him I'm on the phone and she can hear everything. And he stops. And I think it's because he knew that that would be a witness, that she would know everything. If he murdered me right now, there's a witness out there that he can't murder too. So he backs off a little bit. So she's like, come over here. Do you know how to get here? I'm like, no, I don't know how to get there. And I didn't even grab all my stuff. Now I'm running up the stairs. And as I'm going up the stairs, he runs in front of me up the stairs. By the time I make it through the kitchen into the living room, he's already ran into his brother's bedroom, got his gun, and he met me right at the front door as I'm trying to leave his house. And he points the gun at me. What do you say then? What do you say when someone points a gun at your face? And I'm like, look, I just want to leave. I'm not going to tell anybody about anything. I don't care. I just want to leave. You don't have to do this. You don't have to shoot me. And he just was threatening me the whole time. And finally, he let me walk outside. And he goes, you're leaving your shoes. You're leaving all your things. If you tell anybody, I will kill you. So I go out of the house. So I go out into the yard. And as I do, I call someone else really fast. I call the next person I can call, because this person has a car and can come pick me up. Now, I don't have shoes on at this moment. Remember, I left everything inside. My shoes are inside. My backpack's inside. All my stuff was inside. I call the number, and I'm crossing the grass to the road really fast. And as I do so, he comes out with the gun. And he chases me down and says, stop. And he goes, who are you talking to? And he goes and he's pointing the gun at me. We're outside. I'm scared to move. What if he shoots me in the back? What if he shoots me in the stomach? What if he shoots me? So he's asking me all these questions like, am I sending someone out to attack him or get revenge? And I'm just like, no, because honestly, I was not. I just wanted to get away from you. So I'm not like into the whole retaliation thing that like the gangs and stuff were into over there. Like, that's not me. I just want to leave. And so I had to kind of convince him. I'm like, look, I won't have anyone sent over here. Nothing will ever have to happen. I won't have to call the cops or anything. Just let me go. So finally he lets me go, and I have to walk home, and I'm too scared to tell my parents. I never had them pick me up, book it down this road, and I don't know how to get back home. Like, I wasn't driving then. I don't know. I don't have any sense of direction, and I'm just walking and walking and walking until I see something that is similar. So I'm talking like, this took me like hours. I'm walking around lost, and finally I find a road that I know that led to my old house, and I go down it, and I keep going, and finally I make it to my house, and I go inside, and that was the end of that. I refused to talk to him, refused to see him after that, and it would suck when I would go out to parties and I would see him across the way at the party because he's cool with everybody he knows. And when I did see him at parties, I would leave because it freaked me out. So like I said, he did this to somebody else, at least something similar. As far as I know, he did not strangle her, but he did point a gun to her head and ask her, tell me why I shouldn't kill you. Honestly, if this happened to me when he was younger, and if he's still doing it, and he is now, I think he was 22 when he was convicted of this next thing, when he assaulted this woman at, I guess it happened at like some party or something, and if he's still doing that, there's something wrong there. There's something wrong with maybe his mind or something. I don't know, but I feel like maybe if I spoke up earlier, I could have helped her. I could have helped someone else. She is alive. He was a dangerous and volatile teenager, and now he's a dangerous and volatile man, still waving a gun around like it's nothing. And I've been dealing with this issue mentally for a very long time. And I'm going to be strong. I'm going to work on myself. And now that I got to speak my truth, I can move on. And I hope that if you out there watching this, if you go through something similar, please, please, I'm begging you to speak out, because you could be saving somebody's life.